Well, thank you all for that beautiful ceremony. And thanks to Bokushu for your wonderful training. Felt very right there to me. And since I don't get here very often, it was a treat for me to celebrate. That's the word, Fusatsu, with you. So traditionally, Fusatsu is the ceremony of repentance. Some sects, it's done at the time of the new moon. In Zen, I think it's usually done at the time of the full moon, or notionally anyway. Depends when we can schedule it. And we call it the ceremony of repentance, but actually, in addition to that, it's the ceremony of opening ourselves, really reminding ourselves that we are not separate from everything and everybody. It's a very simple fact that often we lose sight on, but when we really connect with it, we can see that the precepts are really about this wonderful life that we share with all beings throughout space and time. And what a shame it is that we constantly separate ourselves, make ourselves smaller, meaner, greedier, all of that. And so that's why we need to atone, to remind ourselves that we are at one with what my first teacher, Ryotan Roshi, called the whole catastrophe. I thought I would like to sort of show how that works and to connect up what we do on our cushions with our practice with the precepts. And I'm not going to do that by really explaining, but I'm going to try to give you a flavor of what I'm talking about. And indeed, that process has already begun with my opening remarks. So before I get into the ceremony and the precepts, I'd like to start off with something from the koan literature. A monk asked Master Joshu, "The great way is without difficulty, just avoid picking and choosing. What is not picking and choosing?" And Joshu said, "Above heaven and below the earth, I alone am the honored one." The monk said, "That's picking and choosing." Joshu said, "Stupid oaf, where's the picking and choosing? Where's the picking and choosing?" It's a great question for the koan to end on. Where's the picking and choosing? So, what it means very simply, the above heaven and below the earth, I alone am the honored one. That's the lion's roar. That is, those are the words legendarily attributed to Buddha upon his birth, where he touched the ground and said, "Above heavens and below the earth I am, alone am the honored one. Well, where's the picking and choosing? It's very straightforward. Everywhere throughout space and time, all beings throughout space and time, all Buddhas throughout space and time, cats, dogs, cars, taxi cabs, all of it, even our little old selves. We're all the honored one. We are all the truth of this moment, just as it is. There's nothing to attain. How can you attain anything when you already have everything? When you already are everything? Well, what's the problem? Why do we have to practice so hard? It's very simple. As Dogen Zenji says, nothing in the world is hidden. It's all out there on the table. And it is the table. So why do we have problem? Well, the problem is, where is the picking and choosing? Well, the picking and choosing is right here. It's, I like this. I don't like that. That person's cool. That person's dumb. I like this part of the ceremony and not that part of the ceremony. I don't like any of the ceremony, but I like eating ice cream. It's picking and choosing, and that's how we create our self. The self that feels separate from the whole catastrophe, even though we are living our lives with all beings at this very moment. So it should be kind of real easy. Oh, I see, okay, yeah. I'm constantly discriminating, constantly causing suffering, as the Four Noble Truths says. I'm constantly saying, this is good, I want it. This is bad, I don't want it. Separation, separation, separation. We're constantly doing that. And so it should be easy. Oh, thank you very much, Ryo. I won't do that anymore. Problem solved. But of course, that too is picking and choosing. That is grasping after some kind of mythological state where we don't have opinions, where we don't have preferences and attachments. So, what to do, what to do, what to do? Basically, what we need to do is what we've been doing tonight, which is to atone, to constantly realize our oneness with the whole catastrophe. And of course, in the ceremony, we start out by saying, all evil karma ever committed since of old, by me, meaning the whole me, not just little old Ryo. But Ryo is certainly included in that throughout space and time. I am at one with it. So you can see we're already practicing oneness by acknowledging we're one with everything we disapprove of, everything we dislike, every flaw we think we have, every flaw we think the world has. We're one with it. We atone. We're not separate from it, even for a moment. We're not separate from our own peccadillos and stupidities. We're not separate from all the horrors that have ever happened in the human realm and ever will happen in the human realm. This is why we bow so much, to be one with. When we bow, we put our heads down, and there's no separation at all. Has the opportunity to come in. When you have your head down, it's much harder to say, oh, this is bad, this is good, I like this, I don't like that, blah, blah, blah. It's just, come on in. Come on in, world. Come on in, the whole catastrophe. I'm one with you. I've never been anything else except in my own weird way of looking at things. And so in this ceremony, we actually have the chance to practice this oneness. And it doesn't feel all that special, really. It just feels like doing a ceremony. Feels like bowing. No flashing lights go off. No drums beat in the heavens above. And none of that has to happen. Because this world, just as it is what we think we have to find, what we have to grab after. This world is both a world of Buddha, perfect and complete, immaculate and pure. And at the same time, this is a world of horror, suffering, pain, delusion, all of that. And so it's not just a matter of being at one with. We have to be savvy enough to know that we must act. And that in acting, we're not losing being one with. We're not losing anything. We can't lose what we already are. The Song of the Jewel Mirror Awareness says, though the basis is reached and the approach comprehended, true reality still flows. We are one with fundamental reality. We are one with the eternal reality that flows. And the great thing is, when we are able to open ourselves up and become one with, not exclude anything, then we're able to be one with what seems like impossible ideals. We're able to be one with all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Namu, I am one with. We're able to be one with Shakyamuni. We're able to be one with Manjusri, the past 7 Buddhas, wisdom, compassion, Avalokiteshvara. We're able to be one with all the good stuff. And in fact, being one with this stuff doesn't mean a halo appears on our heads. It just means we never were separate from this in the first place. But because we had a limited view of who we were, these felt like ideals to strive for, rather than our own energies to evoke, to help us take action in this world that we are one with. To be ourselves, and yet at the same time to be everything, all beings. Those are not two separate things. So this kind of practice, this kind of ceremonial practice, is a great way to connect with that basic truth of our oneness with wisdom and compassion, our oneness with all the bad karma that ever was and ever will be. Our oneness, 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 oneness. But when we lose sight of that oneness, we feel deprived, we feel inadequate, we feel alienated. And as a result, we try to build ourselves up, make ourselves feel better by breaking the precepts. Basically, we try to attain something when everything has already been freely given right from the start, where nothing has been hidden from us, nothing. We've not been deprived of anything. We ourselves are starving ourselves by having this very limited view of who we are. And so one precept that really embodies where we're coming from when we turn ourselves from Buddhas and Bodhisattvas into hungry ghosts, wanting, 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 wanting. Could be I want more money, I want better clothes, I want a nice car. But I would say for the people here, it's more like, I want more enlightenment. I want true insight. I want to see it all. I have somewhere that I have to get to, and unless I get there, I'm not going to be satisfied. I know they keep telling me I'm already there and there's nothing to attain. That's bullshit. No. I got to work really hard at this practice and get it. And just that feeling of lack, that grasping feeling, which the Buddha tells us is the source of suffering. Disavowing the stuff we don't like, grasping after the stuff we do like. This is basically what's called stealing, wanting to get something for ourselves. Get enlightenment, feeling that other people are getting it and we have to get it. And yet, the great sages tell us that this is a mug's game. This trying to grasp, this striving to acquire, to attain, to elevate ourselves in some way through our tremendous insight, or through having the nicest car on the block. Doesn't really matter. I don't care which it is, really. It's all the same kind of separation, the same kind of hungry ghost type energy. And so we have Bodhidharma tell us that self-nature is subtle and mysterious. In the realm of the unattainable Dharma, not trying to obtain something, not having any thoughts of obtaining, is called the precept of not stealing. Fundamentally, that couldn't be anything other than a deluded thought. It means we're unaware of the fact that everything is here right now. All the wisdom, all the compassion, all the insight that we need is here right now. It's not hidden. It's not abstract. It's not up on a mountaintop somewhere. It's not in some altered state of consciousness. It could be, but it's also in a completely ordinary state of consciousness. It's not in any particular state of consciousness. And yet we grasp, we think we're not there. It should feel like something different than we're feeling now. It should be in some place that's nicer than the place we're in now. So we try to get there, we grasp, we steal. Dogen Zenji says it a different way, but he's making the same point. He says, the self and the things of the world are just as they are. The gate of liberation is open. It was never closed. It can't be closed. It's a wide open door. In fact, it's not even a door, because through a door you pass from one thing onto the next thing on the other side of the door. There is no other side. There's only this side. That's all there's ever been. The gate of liberation is simply your own life, simply the people you know, simply the horrible stuff you hear about on social media and television and all of that stuff. All the evil karma, all the good karma, all the boring karma. It's just as it is. It's the gate of liberation. And finally, the Zen peacemakers say, being satisfied with what I have. This is the precept of not stealing, being satisfied with what I have. Truly realizing down in the very marrow of our being that there's nothing to attain. Not just as a principle or as some word some guy in a robe says, but really realizing that. Now, as I say, it should be easy, but actually it takes devoted practice. And it's fine to have a gaining idea as you throw yourself into practice. I welcome it. I want to be a Buddha. I want to be a sage. I want to be a bodhisattva. I just want a calm mind. Whatever you think you want, that's all great. That's not a problem. If you keep throwing yourself into this practice with great sincerity, with great zeal, and you keep at it, something very wonderful will happen. You will completely and utterly fail. You will completely and utterly realize, my God, this is a mug's game. This is never going to happen. You give up. You completely give up, symbolized by our and when that happens, the state you're in, whether you're blissful, anxious, crazy, that state is nirvana, and there never was any other. The world you're in, whether you're on a mountaintop, by a beautiful lake, or in a landfill, getting garbage dumped on you, which can feel like life in America these days. That's an immaculate Buddha land. Without changing the way it looks or feels at all. It's just that you've given up. You've given up separating yourself from your life, from other people, from the world. Does it feel great? Yeah, sometimes. Does it feel boring? Yeah, sometimes, and sometimes it feels as horrible as you can possibly imagine feeling. It's not about having any special feeling. It's not about having any particular state of consciousness. You've given up. You realize this is it. The self and the things of the world are just as they are. There's nothing to attain. There's nothing to steal.